Well, the Butler Bulldogs played the St. John's Red Storm at Hinkle Fieldhouse on Saturday. I apologize, this is going up about 2 days late. My birthday was yesterday and we were busy the last couple days as a result. This game was quite emotional. This was the first home game since the death of Andrew Smith. They had a little video package. His wife and family were all there. You know, just everything that goes with a memorial type service for a basketball player at a basketball game that took place there. Emotions were high. I figured Butler would come out struggling a bit, you know, trying to contain those emotions, control them, you know, and that's basically what happened. Butler came out, had like 8 turnovers in the first 5 minutes, first 6 minutes, something like that. Very sloppy with the ball, weren't hitting shots. But the good news is St. John's is like the worst team in the Big East Conference, and so they were not hitting shots. They weren't executing as well. But that's what happens. It's not a fault of their own. It's not a fault of Chris Mullins, their new head coach. It's just what happens when teams, you know, go through a coaching change and you basically lose everybody on the team except for like 1, 2, or 3 players, so, which is basically what happened at St. John's. So you can't credit them. They play with a lot of effort and they do what they can, and I think they're going to be pretty good team in the future. But as for this game, like I said, Butler with a slow start. About halfway through the first half, they finally started getting it figured out. They started to break the tie. It was like 16-16. Butler went on a pretty big run, and they never looked back. And the game was pretty much a double-digit game for the rest of the point. On in the game, Butler wins 78-58 to improve to 13-4 on the season and 2-3 in the Big East. Butler just shot the ball very well. Their defense looked pretty well, but looked like they played pretty well. But St. John's, obviously, like I said, they just don't have the talent right now to get where they need to be. They were 19 of 56 from the field for 33.9%, 4 of 21 from the three-point line, which is 19%. Whereas you have Butler 26 of 54 for 48.1%, and 7 of 16 from the three-point line for 43.8%. Rebounding, Butler destroyed St. John's on rebounding, 42-31. Both teams had 11 offensive boards, so Butler just rebounded a lot more of St. John's misses because they missed a lot more shots. Turnovers, like I said, this is probably Butler's worst game taking care of the basketball. 19 turnovers in this game. Like I said, a majority of them were at the beginning, and so after that, those 8 turnovers in the first 5 minutes, they had 11, so that's not too bad. I'm going to forgive them on that stat for this day. Basically, that's the whole tale of the tape right there. That's the story for you. Andrew Travis shot well. He had some poor games shooting the ball. He was 4 of 7 from the field for 13 points. Finally hit a three-pointer. He was 1 of 2 on the day. Kellen Dunham, red hot, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 7 from the three-point line, 10 of 11 at the free throw line, 24 points from him. Keelan Martin coming off the bench, 9 of 16 from the field, 1 of 2 behind the three-point line for 22 points. Roosevelt Jones only had 5 points, but he only took 5 shots. He was 2 of 5, but he was a monster on the boards. He got 8 rebounds, as well as Keelan Martin being a monster on the boards. He had 10 rebounds. Tyler Weidman with 6 rebounds. Kellen Dunham had 5, which is pretty good for a guard. So Jordan Gathers, in the 11 minutes that he played, he basically averaged a rebound every 3 minutes, 4 rebounds. That's not that bad. Roosevelt Jones with 3 steals, and just a great effort altogether. Like I said, considering the circumstances, they get a pretty decent slide as a result. So just a good win, but we got to build on it. We got to use what happened. You know, the sad thing that just happened this past week, we got to use that to our advantage and try to play with some passion, play with effort, and just play the Butler way. And if we can do those things, then we're going to be very successful. We'll beat the 3 ranked teams in our conference that beat us. Starting with Providence tomorrow night. We have to go to Providence. I think they're ranked like 16th now. So they're kind of on a slide. They've been really struggling, had some close games with was it Marquette or Creighton, one or the other. I think even St. John's maybe they struggled a bit with, or maybe that was Xavier. But they did just lose to Seton Hall. So if we can capitalize on that while they're down and just do what we didn't execute on last time, which is withstanding runs and just not going cold, playing with a consistent effort offensively and most importantly defensively, which has been our biggest struggles. If we can do those things, we can go into Providence and beat them. Just got to contain their big players, Chris Dunn, Ben Bentel. They've got a lot of great players and a great coach. So if we can, it's going to take a lot of effort, but we got to play the way that Andrew Smith played and just put it all out there. If we can do that, we'll win. So, but anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one.